suspect that the middle of a seed has reactions and interactions and all kind of things go on, and the seed cracks and the spore comes out. It's a big vine. It's in comparison to the seed, it's such a big tree. That little tiny spore that comes out is a big giant tree. And like when you zoom in with a microscope, you see it. And like if you've seen it, I mean, it's kind of why, things happen. So, and then in a message to the kids, like, I don't mean to curse, but the frustrations of man are based on change and cataclysmic actions that go on within our universe, which is our world. And it's a hard apple to swallow. It's an apple of knowledge, and it comes from a seed of thought and perception to wonder about things and be curious. And you're given so much information, and we have so much experiences that we get frustrated. And like for people like me, I don't curse. Like, it's not natural to want to curse, even though I like cursing, but I say it now because I have to own myself. But I don't like to curse around kids, and I don't like that I'm always cursing. But the frustrations of people that are younger than me and know better than me coming against me for hypocritical things and condemning me and taking me out of my life path, they've oppressed me. And they've pushed me around, no different than anybody else. And a lot of people have mothers and fathers out there that, they don't look like the ones we see on TV that are having fun and feeling good and secure and with all the best love and lives. They don't look like that. They look like the other ones. And that's what we come from, a lot of us, in a sense, And it doesn't make people bad because, they can come through, I watched an interview of Steven Tyler and Henry Rollins from a bunch of years ago, and it was great. And like I like these people because they've made something of themselves, but they've sacrificed themselves, and they talk about the road of life, and not everybody gets along with them, and they're often condemned, for their ideals and their practice, even though people, enjoy what they create. And they base their lives on it, and yet they condemn where it comes from. Just like us with the course of life in the earth. The conflict and the wars are creating something. Like the ackee fruit. It has gases, and it explodes. And if you're around the gases, those gases will kill you. They'll kill you. And, you have to configure, like, the nuclear aspect, and the words aspect that create frustration, that create people to want to be motivated to make things that destroy and hurt people. You gotta feel that if you're holding that seed in your hand and it's beautiful and the possibility of life that it is, but maybe it's the only seed you got. And the seed's going to go bad, because it does. Or something comes along and eats the seed and crunches it up, and it doesn't get to live to aspire to itself like Jack and the Beanstalk. The beanstalk never grows. So we have to accept the things that are going on, because they're part of what goes on inside the seed. And that beautiful shell, the beautiful shell of the seed, as artistic as it is, just like an egg. You hold it in your hand and you cherish it. But that egg grows up to be a rooster. And that seed grows up to be corn. And, all these things are necessary. But we can be kinder to each other. And that's why I curse. And this video was originally made because I'm cursing and everything, and I could draw stuff that's still happy, but I have a Gargamel side to it, from the Smurfs, little blue men running around, and I have to be more sinister and bigger and more more presenting of aggression and power, just to fend them off, even in my own psyche, because the little blue men are everywhere trying to get me in my world. And I'm wearing a blue, like a Smurf too, because we're teacher one day and student the next. So everything goes full circle. And, it's better to watch and keep your like-mindedness around the birds of feather than to condemn and alienate. Because once you do that, you don't give two people a choice. And a lot of people have resent for their parents. A lot of people have resent for their kids for reasons that are just, they're petty. And I don't want to condemn people for them, but what I've learned yesterday, I didn't learn something else that somebody else learned yesterday. And what I learned today, somebody else, they could have learned when they were 2. And, maybe I know something when I was 2, and they won't know it until they're 50. So it is what it is. And if we think like that, we can accept that we could sow the seeds we grow. And we could accept that some plants grow up in a pot. It's not good to have the pot, though. But there's a reason. We put ourselves in it. But you can't condemn, because that potted plant, it's growing on its own, isolated, and it may be given care from something otherworldly that takes care of that. Because it's a vessel. Just like our earth could be in a vessel. It is a vessel. And we make vessels that hold vessels. And even the vessel that the earth is in could be in a vessel. And we grow with that, and we have our part. And don't ever detach yourself from the natural ways and things, because you'll get lost. And you'll find frustration. And then frustration will come back to you, because other people are frustrated. You have to continue to grow even when they're not growing. And you have to know when you need to stand strong and be either the reed or the bamboo. A reed bends. Sticks break. It's not a cliche. It's nature in that sense. Man has a nature. So we could do good with it. Strength and fortitude gets us there. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Keep it simple is keeping it smart. And you can get her done, but make sure you're doing it the right way and think about it first. And as far as burning out or fading away, you got your own pace. But the universe gave rock and roll to you. You always had that, maybe.